Hey guys, good to be here with you. Today I want to talk about something that I'm trying to embody more, which is balance, and how I tend to be really polarized at times. Like I'm either all the way in the masculine, it seems, or all the way in the feminine. And for me, it's an art to be in this human body and to be embodying both equally. And by equally, I mean whatever feels most authentic to you. Because some of you may be more, and this has nothing to do with gender, of course. There's so many animals around here. I can just hear them. My nervous system's like, what is that? Is that a bear? So like I was saying, whatever's authentic to you to like really embody. Some of you might be more feminine oriented. Some of you may be more masculine oriented. And like I said, that doesn't have much to do with gender. It's just whatever your natural energetic and unique, like your unique energetic signature is. And to let yourself to have that. But I notice because I go all the way masculine a lot, I'll tend to burn out of the masculine. Like I'll tend to burn out quick, and then I'll have to swing all the way into the feminine and just rest and do nothing for a long time. I'm either like go all of it, like so much energy for creation, and then I have like nothing. And there's a natural ebb and flow here. We're gonna have more creative times, more creative cycles. And then we're gonna have cycles where we're just being and resting. And so we want to allow ourselves the freedom to have that. I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to make that natural movement wrong or anything, because that's just the way of energy. That's just the way of life. But what I'm trying to bring to my own beingness, to my own humanity, is somewhat of a balance to see if I can stay connected to both more fully so I don't have to swing to such extremes. Like, for a perfect example is, I'll oftentimes wait until my circumstances on a human level get to such like a place of extreme before I'll take action. Sometimes I like need that energetic leverage of like, okay, there's no money in the bank account and we're gonna have to find a new place to move soon. Like sometimes I'll have to wait for that to happen before I'm like willing to embody the masculine and take action. And then of course I'll take all the action needed. Lots of energy will come through, and my circumstances will become much more like replenished, you could say. And then I'll just, then at that point, I'm like really exhausted because it took so much energy and effort to dig myself out of the hole that I was in. And then at that point, I like have to rest, and I have to rest for a long time. It's not like a day or two, right? Because I just exerted so much will, so much energy. And then I just rest, and I notice I'll rest and rest and rest until once again, circumstances get so extreme that I have to take action again. And so that's kind of been my movement. And it's like my consciousness has really wanted to explore the extremes. Something in me has also wanted to see, do I have what it takes to dig myself out of really like challenging and difficult circumstances? And I think this is because my parents, as a way of that they tried to love me when I was growing up, is they tried to remove any pain or adversity from my life, right? They wanted to protect me and shelter me from the difficulties of life. And I think that this is common among lots of loving parents. But one of the things that kind of does is it disconnected me from finding out, oh, do I have what it takes? What am I made of, you know? In a sense, like it didn't allow me to fully connect to my strength as a child, as an adolescent. And so I think looking at my adult life, I tend to put myself through a lot of initiation type experiences, like let's just fly in to Mexico City from Berlin with very little money, you know, and just see what happens. Can we do it? You know, shit like that. Like, and that's just one example. I do that all the time. Let's get in our car and drive south with like $700, you know, and we'll make it work, you know, and just like kind of putting myself in situations where I have to like live out of my car and kind of find a way and rely and like really dig deep to find some strength and resiliency to get through. So like, it's like my consciousness has really wanted to discover that about myself on this path. And I still have that kind of pull to do that again, even. Because every time I do it, I find more and more of my strength. I find more and more of my capacity that I can do whatever it takes. But that's a kind of a really, that's beautiful, but it also can be really hard on the body. And so what I was really getting at is like my consciousness has wanted to explore these polarities. It's wanted to really go all the way into the masculine, into the extreme of it, to see what that's like. And then it's wanted to swing. It's like wanted to see, oh, can I just do nothing for 2 weeks? It's wanted to go all the way into the feminine and beingness and rest where nothing's expected of it, right? Because we're not allowed a lot of that in this earth plane too, with our cultural conditioning and everything. You really get a lot of validation and positive feedback when you're all the way in the masculine, I've noticed. But when you go all the way into the feminine, people are kind of like, what's wrong with you? You know, why aren't you doing something? And so my consciousness has really wanted the freedom to express and to experience in both. But I think going forward, there's this calling in me to see, can I live in a more balanced state, more of a harmony with both, where my doing comes from the state of beingness, and I'm not depleting myself, like I'm not getting myself in situations where I have to like exhaust myself, you know, to deplete myself to the point of like, now I have to rest, right? Or I'm gonna like, my body's gonna break essentially. My nervous system, like I'll have to put forth so much effort to where my nervous system's just fried. And I'm like, okay, now I have to literally lay in bed for 2 weeks, right? It's like, it's both things. Why do I have to get to that point to allow myself rest, right? And why do I have to let my circumstances get to such a point to where I have to exert effort? For me, it's like, why can't I just kind of choose more of a middle ground? And the reason I couldn't in the past, like I said, is because my consciousness wanted to have those experiences. So those experiences were totally valid and beautiful and perfect for me at the time. But I think as we mature and as our experience of awakening becomes more embodied, we start looking for a way to live that's more supportive and nourishing for ourselves. And so that's what I've been experiencing, connecting to, finding that natural harmony. Because it's like I've really experienced out the extremes. I've really seen what's there. And it's okay to do that, like I said. We're free to experience this earth plane however we want to, however we need to for our own growth and evolution. And those type of polarized experiences can really serve, because then we can really know the polarized energies really well. But once we know them really well, like I feel like I've gotten to know them on a deep level, it's like, okay, now how can we, you know, allow both to serve us rather than just one side, going from one to the other, right? It's like, okay, bringing both polarities into our life in a way that brings this kind of harmony and this sense of support for ourselves. And I think this is all just like related to clearing trauma, related to healing, related to, we don't need to have the big type of stimulation of living at the extremes, because it's really stimulating, right? To go through those extremes, to have the drama, right? And my system's kind of just like, do we need the drama? Do we need that drama? Do we need to use the drama as energetic leverage to either embrace the masculine or the feminine, right? Do we need the drama of, wow, we don't have any money or a place to live to take action anymore? And do we need the drama of, fuck, my nervous system is fried, I've just depleted myself to exhaustion? we need that kind of drama to allow ourselves to rest, right? And I'm just kind of feeling like maybe I'm growing up a little bit out of that paradigm. Kind of feel like I've pulled what I needed to from it. Maybe there's some more left for me. But I'll notice now, if I start doing that, I'll notice that I'm doing it. And when we notice we're doing something, that's a sign that it's like probably reaching its end of serving us, because we're starting to see through it, you know. And so, yeah, I'll leave you with that. I hope that's helpful. Sending you guys some love. It's just an honor to be here with you guys, walking this path. Hope you're all doing well. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Much love and namaste.